Hey everyone, Paradox ECG here. I'm Ryan and I'm bringing you an updated Baby Raccoon deck profile. I've added and removed a lot of things from this deck which make my old list outdated, so I thought I'd bring you guys a new one. So let's get started. I often get questions about my tokens. These aren't legal, like tokens printed by Konami. I have a friend who made these. Actually, no, he just traded them to me with the deck core. So, yeah, that explains how I got these tokens. So, I'm just gonna zip past what I didn't change. So, yeah, 3 Mahon and 3 Tantan. People have been bumping this down to 2. I'm not doing that because I don't want there to be a chance when I summon a Ponpoko and I have nothing, or I have no Tantans in my deck. So yeah, and it's the main engine, so I am just not taking that out. 2 Valerophon. People keep asking why I don't bump this up to 3. It can be cloggy, even though it's a great card and you really want it. It can be really cloggy if you draw multiple copies. So I really like keeping this at 2 because you have just the right amount you need and you don't clog. 2 Cerberol. You really want this in your hand with while you have Bambi on the field. I would bump it up to 3, but it can be a pain because the only effect it has is when it's discarded it can be summoned. Wind Up Kitten. And 1 Calantosa. People ask why I only use 1 Calantosa. You only use 1 because once it's out of the main deck, you're not going to be needing another one. Because the main play, as everyone knows, is flip Tantan, summon Calantosa. But the way my build is run, you really want to get Valerophon out with Tantan. And when this is out of the main deck, you would just keep reusing it or Wind Up Kitten with Valerophon. So, and since Valerophon is only once per turn, you only need one of these out of the main deck at one time. And when you open multiple copies, everyone knows it's very awful to have multiple copies in your hand. So you never want more than one, and when with it at 1, you just have that no possibility of that. 1 Tree Otter. I don't use Sequala. Sequala is trash. I can explain why in another video, but yeah. Thunder King. Barbaros. And a new one that I'm doing is 1 Lava Golem. Why Lava Golem, you may ask? Well, Lava Golem, it has 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense. So, not only can it remove cards from your opponent's field, and burn them 1,000 every standby phase for their standby phases, you can summon it in defense, make a 3,000 attack token, and then attack over it. So, basically, it's just removal for your opponent's cards on their side of the field. And it's very good against a lot of cards that are really difficult to get over, like Apocryphal Towers. I'm pretty sure this doesn't target, it's just tribute. So, yeah. And it gets over Construct, which is kind of a big deal. And just every problem card you may think of. For the spells, 3 Obedient Scold. I'm probably going to be zipping right through the spells. I didn't change anything for the spells. Ayers Rock. 2 United We Stand. Raigeki. Book of Moon. I don't play upstarts because there are a lot of other things I need in this deck other than just consistency. 3 Mistakes. I think in the last video I only had 2. I bumped it up to 3 because I got my hands on the 3rd one, and just because there's a lot of searching going on this format, and the most represented deck at every major tournament is Necroz, so you really want to stop them from searching. 3 Fiendish Chain, 2 Mirror Force, and another one that I'm trying out is 2 Ceasefire. Sometimes when you not only do you have many times where you have all 5 of your monsters out on the field. There are also times where you summon Ponpoko and you don't necessarily need a Tan out because you want something really fast. So if you have a Ceasefire set, you can activate it and flip the monster you summon with Ponpoko so that you can use its effect this turn. So you can summon a Ponpoko, summon a Wind-Up Kitten, face down defense, activate Ceasefire, flip it, activate its effect, bounce monster. And it's also really good for the burn damage. For the 1-ubs, 1 Solemn, 1 Vanities, 1 Ring of Destruction. I also use Ring of Destruction because, so if, let's say, you have all 5 monsters on your side of the field, and your opponent has 1 or 2 monsters. If you have Ceasefires and Ring of Destruction, this is game. That would be 3,000 damage, and this would do damage depending on whatever opponent's monster it has the attack of. So, and extra deck, I think I changed 1 part of the extra deck. I might have changed more, I can't remember. So yeah, standard, 3 Sandayu, 1 Centauria. I think I did not have this last time. I took Cat Shark out for this. Cat Shark, it's a great card and all, but your XZ's monsters are not the monsters you want boosted, and it can just be really difficult to use. And it's not always, or it's not often that you'll have Triader out. So Centauria not only removes an opponent's card, it can't be destroyed by battle, and it's 2,000 attack, so it's not bad at all. Phoenix, not sure if I used 1 or 2 last time, but 1 of, and 1 Downward. One Unicorn. I might have had 2 last time. I took 1 out because I'm finding myself going into Naturia Beast more than Unicorn, and I'll probably only go into Unicorn if I have the same amount of cards in my hand as my opponent, and I'm going to start attacking for game so that they can't activate anything for when I attack for game. Normally I would have activated it to stop my opponent during their turn, but it's easy for them to just set 1 card and then do whatever they need to do. So yes, I use this for when I'm going for game now. 2 Naturia Beast. I'm finding myself going into this very often now because it's one of the best synchros of the format. It probably is the best synchro of the format. So yeah. 1 Catastor. I'm actually taking this out for a Herald of Arclight. Herald of Arclight, what it does is, basically any card sent from the hand or main deck to the graveyard is banished instead. And since this deck doesn't send anything from the graveyard other than Naturia Beast, I mean, it stops Necroz's monsters from going to the graveyard, so they can't just add it with Necroz or Unicorn. And it's basically a Solemn Judgment, so without the burn damage. So you can activate its effect, send it to the graveyard, and then negate a card effect. So yeah, ignore the Catastor. 1 Armades, Terrybarkion, Gaia Guardian, Leo, and I can't remember if I used this last time, but Star Eater. Star Eater is very, very relevant this format because it's really difficult to get over Apocryph 4 Towers. I mentioned in my Sylvan deck profile that Apocryph 4 Towers is being used more now because before it wasn't used because the skill drain would stop its effect, so it would be redundant to have it out. But now with only 1 skill drain, they're running more of it now. So Star Eater, when it attacks, your opponent, or it's unaffected by your opponent's card effects. Is it your opponent's card effects? Unaffected by other card effects until the end of the damage step. So it attacks Clifford Towers, its attack goes back up to 3,200, and it gets over towers. So yeah, it's very important to have Star Eater in the deck. And you can easily make this with Barbaros, a token, and any other level 2 tuner. And I have a side deck this time. So, I don't main 3 MST because, like I said, a lot of the floodgates got limited and not a lot of people, especially Necros, are using back row. And typically I'll be up against a Necros deck at a big tournament, so MST will be dead. If I draw multiple copies, I basically open with 3 cards instead of 5. So yeah, I side that against rogue decks and a lot of back row decks. Non-fusion area. Shaddolls are probably one of the best decks of the format right now, ever since Seraphs came out. So it's very important to stop them from making Construct and other fusions. Especially, even Winda, because Winda, if this deck can only summon once per turn, you're basically screwed. So you really need to stop them from making Winda. 2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors for the Seraphs. 2 Imperial Iron Wall. I'm using this against Necros. I would, so they can't Valk me. And I would use this against Ritual Beasts also, because it's a big problem if they can't banish anything. 2 Mythic Water Dragons. I like this card a lot because against decks like Burning Abyss that have very little outs to Leo, you really want to make Leo as fast as possible. And you can special summon this card if you have a Earth monster on your side of the field. So, like, say if you have a Earth monster and Cerberol, or if you have a Bambi on the field, summon this, it's an instant Leo. 2 Vanity's Fiend. I will put Vanity's Fiend in the sleeve when I get a second Vanity's Fiend. You really only want to have Vanity's Fiend out on the field when you have a where is it? Naturi Beast, because Naturi Beast, the only thing that could really stop Naturi Beast and Vanity's Fiend on the field is a Raigeki. Or the only thing to really get over a Vanity's Fiend is a Raigeki or a Dark Hole. And if you have Naturi Beast, it's really difficult to get over that. And especially against Necros and Shaddolls that special summon their major monsters by activating spells, you really want to stop the Raigekis if they have nothing else to get over this. So yeah, really only make this with Naturi Beast or Barkion, depending on the deck matchup. And then 1 Soul Drain. Soul Drain is against a lot of decks like Burning Abyss or Shaddolls that have their effects activate in the graveyard. So it's only at 1, or else I would run 3 in the side deck. Maybe 3, maybe 2. But yes, definitely if you have one of these, put this in your side deck. And yeah, that's it, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe. Leave a comment down below, yeah. Check out our eBay page, it'll be in the description down below. And stay tuned, because recently I want to make a video for Raccoons on what techs I like and what techs I don't like, and what cards you should use and should not use. So yeah, peace out, guys.